Yes, people. We are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the ManDem United podcast, the podcast dedicated to all things Manchester United. So please keep all your comments, all your questions, Manchester United related, please, people. Of course, it's the Tuesday edition. So I'm going to be joined by Ivorian Spice, and we got a couple special guests in the building. Obviously, let me introduce my regular co-host first and foremost. Yes, Ivorian, what are you telling me? You good?
Big up to everyone, of course, man. I'm good. I'm good, man. You know what I mean? Like it's been a good international break for us to get some rest away from this team because there's been so much that's been going on while this international break. You know, we thought we was gonna get a break, innit? But we're not getting breaks.
I knew we weren't going to get a break, fam. I say it all the time when it comes to Manchester United that this team, there's always something to talk about. Whether we're playing, whether we're not. This is supposed to be the break, like you said. We've been more in the news. We've been so much in the news. I thought we were an international team. That's how much Manchester United have been in the news. I thought we became Manchester United, the country, the way we've been playing. I'm waiting for us to play some friendlies against Faroe Islands or Luxembourg or something. Large up to everyone in the chat, though, as always. But what are you saying, Ivorian? You blessed and everything, yeah?
Blessed as always, man. Big up to everyone that's tuning in today. You know what it is, man. It's all about Manchester United. So much current affairs regarding Manchester United. Hitting the headlines, as always, flawless, man. It just never stops. It's just the gift that keeps on giving.
It is, man. There's so much going on, as always. Got to introduce one of the special guests as well. Regular. He's been a regular on here before. See him in the channel as well, doing great things on his own channel. See him on Saeed TV as well. My like Rhino is in the building. Yes, Rhino. What are you saying, man? You good?
Yes, man. What's good, ManDem, man? What's good, Ivorian? Listen. Manchester United. That's what I got to say. Manchester United. But I love for having me for us always, man.
Yeah, man, every time you already know what it is. Big up to everyone that's tapped in. Make sure you hit the like button on the video. First thing you do, whether you're watching live right now or watching this back, please share across all the socials and subscribe to the channel right here, Sarcasm City TV. And make sure you subscribe to Ivorian's channel, Red United TV. And make sure you subscribe to Rhino's channel, Rhino MG TV, one of the mods. Please put both links in the comment section, please, as well. And like I said, keep all your questions Manchester United related. Of course, if you super chat, we'll get to it, but there is a lot to discuss. That's why not only got Ivorian here, Rhino here as a special guest, another special guest as well, who I didn't even talk to too long ago. And because so much has gone on, there's so much shit to talk about. Like I said, keeping up at Carrington, man. We're in season 3, episode 4 of Manchester United's nonsense. There's so much going on. Big up Kojo in the cut as well. Yes, Kojo, what are you telling me? You good?
Hey, I'm blessed, man. Well, I was blessed until I saw that we were late with GHAZI yesterday, so I'm pissed off. How are you guys doing, man?
I'm blessed. You know what? Let's start there with the GHAZI links. We'll just go straight to that.
It's cap, though. It's cap.
Do we have to?
Was cap.
Yes, it's cap. Is it Laurie Whitwell that's put up a message of her?
Is it Laurie Whitwell?
Let me lie to you, Rhino. Yeah, bruv, cap or not, we shouldn't be getting linked with a man like that. That shouldn't be happening, bro. I shouldn't be putting my kid to bed.
Do you know what it is though, Kojo? I feel like obviously it's agent work, isn't it?
Getting some what's it called? Echo from you. You got any headphones? Yeah. No stress.
Yeah, I got headphones.
You got headphones. Try that. What have you got? The AirPods. Yeah, disconnect them. They don't work well with StreamYard, innit?
That's what I've always been using.
You've always been using.
So let me check what the problem is. Yeah.
Check your audio settings.
Check the audio settings. Check the echo cancellation. It might be that, innit? Try that. But yeah, go on, Kojo. Carry on.
Yeah, man, bro. I shouldn't be putting my youth to bed at 10 o'clock at night and then saying, let me run through Twitter real quick. And then before I even do that, I get notifications and group chats. Everyone's angry. And I see the name Anwar or GHAZI. What's going on? What's going on? It's poor, man. It's poor.
It is. It's extremely, like, when I see that, I was just like, what? Like, he's so under the radar. I didn't even critique because I was like, I just remember him vaguely playing for Aston Villa. That's it. I vaguely remember him playing for Villa. Like, I can't comment on him as a player. I don't know about him like that. Ivorian, what you saying when you seen it?
Bro, ManDem saw it just come at me, last night for no damn reason when I was trying to get some rest, bro. Around 11 p.m. saying, like, your manager, this and that. Look at what he likes. Look at his talent pool, taste, all that kind of stuff. In the morning, it continued when I woke up. I told him, guys, I don't believe in this tomfoolery, bro. Like, us being linked to GHAZI, free agent. If we wanted him, we could have got him a long time ago, And look at it now. The news come out saying that it's all fake news. The agent was twerking for Manchester United, since he saw an opportunity there. and saw that Anthony was in a situation and Jadon Sancho was in a situation. So I might as well just try and see if I can get my client a football club, you know. But thank God it's false news because we don't want that. None of us was excited in it.
I hear you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I never jumped out the window because you never know. I always ask for sources when it comes to Manchester United, like always, because you know how people know what they're doing, whether it's reporters, whether it's just people on Twitter, whether it's Instagram. You throw Manchester United's name and link to a player, and our fan base can fall for it, especially if the player's not good. Look how many players we got linked to foolishly over the summer window. Like so many nonsense players. Like remember Jordan Pickford, for example, and our fan base went up in arms, and it was like that was never true. No reliable source ever said we was interested in Jordan Pickford. No, but our fan base still fell for it. And then we ended up signing Onana, of course. So that tells you all you need to know. Yes, Rhino, what are you saying, man?
Am I good now?
Yeah. Oh, wait, say something?
Yeah. No, but why am I echoing? I'm confused. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you checked, when you click the setting, check the echo cancellation. It might be that, innit? It might be that.
At least.
It's weird because I don't normally use that, but let me go with it.
Yeah. Try it. It's cool. We'll get it patterned.
I don't know what's going on.
Go and say something else.
Yo.
Oh my God.
Nah, still. Yeah. Try. If not, if you've got some regular headphones, try that. I don't know why we're getting an echo from you. It shouldn't happen because normally it's calm. I don't know what's going on. It's all good. Large up to everyone in the chat though, as always. I see you lot, you know what I'm saying? Big up to Steve, Daredevil, Warrior, JSCU, LFC for the double, all the regulars, all the new people. Bump up those likes as well. Like I said, get your questions in. Well, Kojo, we'll go to you because we not even too long ago I had you on here. It was only a few weeks back, and so much has gone on in that time that there's so much to discuss. So we'll start first and foremost with the Jadon Sancho situation. When I say that in terms of what was your thoughts when you first heard, seeing what Ten Hag stated and then how Sancho responded on the socials? Where was you at with it then, and where are you at with it now?
I was annoyed with both, can't lie, because I know some managers have done it in the past, Sats Ferguson included, but I'll get to that part of it. But I've never been a fan of going out and pretty much saying, yeah, he's not playing because he's been essentially poor in training. You don't need to say that. You know, selection, I chose my team, keep it moving, do your thing. Sancho, I understand why he responded, and people saying, "Oh yeah, but you're the player, you shouldn't respond, brother." ManDem will respond. ManDem want to talk. You can't speak on my name and expect me to stay silent. You know what I mean? We ain't running that. Yeah. So he said, "No, that's not true. I think it's something else. I'm being made a scapegoat, you know. But I love this club. I'm still gonna try and do my thing for this club. Obviously, no one really like that. But this is my thing, yeah. Firstly, it ain't that deep, in my opinion. If I'm being very honest, two grown adults talk it out, handle business. We've had worse scandals at the club, bro. We've had a man kick a boot into a man's eyebrow. That is true. And get over it and still play for the team, even if they didn't like each other. Still did his thing there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll go get some butter in a bit. All right.
And then in terms of how the Ten Hag thing, I understand he's trying to be a disciplinarian, and I rate it. I respect it. I'm not saying the authority should go down, but the thing for me is, players deal with things differently. I think I don't like using Sats Ferguson as an example because it's a different era, a different man completely. But I'm just going to use it anyway because it's man management. How people like Ryan Giggs back in the day would say like how he dealt with the Cantona situation, always praising him in the press and all that. Like, why would you do that? The guy kung fu kicked someone in the face, like, you know, like I understand why he did it, but he put us at jeopardy. But he's like, no, I'm not to deal with the guy. I dealt with him differently. When Rooney get heat in a press conference, he wasn't good in the last game. I wasn't happy with him. Rooney get pissed off, but you see in the next performance why he did that. But he wouldn't do that with Nani. Nani played poor. All right, yeah, but I'm gonna protect him. Tell him where he is in training. See him in the next game and run his thing. You have to deal with different personalities differently, and I don't think Ten Hag has clocked how to deal with different personalities within this team just yet. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's my thing. But see, they'll deal with him and they'll sort it out, man. One way or another, Sancho play for this team again, man. We'll be calm.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I'm at with it. Like, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. That was my thoughts in regards to Sancho responding. I don't never like managers criticizing players publicly. I don't think it helps anyone. And in regards to Sancho responding, you said, man, them are going to respond. Like, you ain't just going to let him talk.
He's from South. What do you think is going to happen?
course he's gonna respond. Like that's just legit what it is.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
That's just
inside.
legit what it is. But Ivorian, obviously, with Anthony taking a leave of absence, obviously Greenwood not being around as well. Who would you like to see play on that right wing? Because we've obviously JADON Sancho could play there. Palestri is now an option who can play there. People have mentioned Mount. People have mentioned Bruno. Where do you stand? So when we play Brighton, I think everyone I've mentioned there is available on Saturday. Who would you like to see play right wing? Who do you want to see nail down that position?
It's a tricky one because the options that we have right now with an injured Ahmed Diallo and a Palestri doing well in international duty, and we've got the option of either trying Garnacho on the right-hand side, which I don't think we've tested too much. We already know that Rashford himself is not great playing on the right-hand side, and we've got Bruno and our favorite midfielder Mason Mount, that who could potentially play in that position. So it's a tough one to answer, I'm gonna go with I want Manchester United to play the natural right winger, which is probably give Palestri a try, because for some reason this guy gets an opportunity to play for his country. Man's played in the World Cup as well, and also had some impact as well. And just look at the recent international appearance with that much impact. And it's funny how it's taken him a whole year to have his Manchester United debut as well, even at Old Trafford. I think we should give him an opportunity there. And I want to see what he's got, because we spent money on this guy. We spent a good under 20 million on this guy. We need to see.
How much was Palestri? How much was he actually signed for?
Was it like under 20 million or something?
Just under 20, yeah.
We spent money on a player of that age as well. When we spend money on a player of that age, we expect to see something right now, a return. We spent 40 million euros just under on Diallo. We want to see him in the first team. You don't spend 40 million euros on an 18-year-old and don't give him an opportunity. That is wonder kid money right there. And that player should be playing in the first team when you spend money like that. So I want to see Palestri given an opportunity and see what he can do, because I think we all can agree that there were times when we've seen him last season come on, he's impressed us, and we've always said, give him another goal. Why don't we give Palestri a goal? So let's see now. The opportunity is there, the space is there. Let's see what he can do, because this whole Sancho Anthony situation, all sorts of things, it's just one thing after another regarding Manchester United. Again, before I say flawless, like, we've had a week of a bad result against Arsenal. Then we had the Sancho situation, Anthony, and then the media's like, what else can we do to piss off Manchester United fans? Or let's take them with Mohamed El Ghazi. We're already pissed off. So it is what it is, man. I want to see Palestri get a chance.
So you're with the Palestri. All right, where you at with it right now in regards to who would you like now to see nail down?
I'm scared to talk.
Check your settings. Click audio.
Everything's normal.
Have you checked the speaker settings? When you click audio.
Everything. I'm confused. I don't know
where it says. Have you checked?
You're not echoing on my side anymore, though.
Check the speaker.
You're fine on my side now, Rana.
Is it?
Yeah, because if you check when you go to audio, check what's it say when you click speaker, like speaker.
Yeah, what's your speaker saying? Is it saying default external headphones built in, or is it
saying headphones?
Is it saying external?
Everything's set. Trust me, I'm a technology man. Everything's set. I don't know what's going on.
You know what? I'd say close it down and jump back in and try.
Let me shut down and come back.
Shut down and do that. Yeah. And it should be all right.
I'll be back.
So Rado will be back.
Lasers, man. There's no one to see.
It's all good. But yeah, Coach, we'll go to you. Same question to you in regards to obviously Anthony now on a leave of absence. That was Ten Hag's man. Who would you like to see nail down that right hand side slot? Is it Palestri? Is it Sancho? Is it somebody else? Where are you at with it?
I would like to say Sancho, but we ain't gonna see him anytime soon, innit? So, but I'm down for Palestri still. The thing is, if we're deep in, we spent about a combined maybe 60 million on Palestri and Ahmad. So we gotta start using these youths. I mean, Ahmad's injured, didn't it? So you can't help that. But when he's back, are you gonna give him the opportunity to play? So I'm down for Palestri. That said, I'm also down for a flipping formation change.
Oh, talk about it. Okay. What formation would you like to see?
I'd like to see a diamond. I'd like to see maybe Amrabat at the base, just because I feel like, even though I still do trust in Casemiro, and I think with maybe one more body, he has a lot more of an easier job in the midfield. I think they'll probably put Amrabat there, just make him feel comfortable. Put, what's his name? Casemiro probably next to Bruno, and put Mount in 10. And I know people say Bruno's still probably more prominent 10, chance creator, so on and so forth. But watching how the guys played so far this season, it looks like he just likes to drift out to the right a bit more. So maybe just put him on that side of the diamond and then put Mount at the 10. Because Mount, Mount isn't a creator like Bruno, but Mount's best season was just behind the striker, and also led to his team winning the Champions League after they obviously dealt with the whole drama of the manager and so on and so forth and got 2K wins. So I just want to see it. Rashford will never be dropped. That's fine by me. And I think it'll be good to have Højlund have another striker next to him because, you know, I want him to be eased in. He's young and I've got time for him. But I don't want to try and do sort of like Mbappe expectations on this youth. Let him come in and take his time, you know what I'm saying? I would mention another name, but the guy just can't stay fit to do anything really. So, you know, I think you know
God, who's the other name?
No, we already know. The guy can't stay fit. The clues are there.
Yeah, man. Certain Frenchman. No names.
Oh, Jeezy, I've been done with him, innit? Like, so, because he can't stay fit. Like, I've been, like, I'm surprised that he even got, like, a start. I was like, what's going on? How is he still starting? And I'm a fan of his, but, like, the injury seems to have finally taken its toll because he don't even look the same when he gets on the pitch. That was always my biggest criticism of him was Martial's inability to stay fit. But now even when he stays fit, he just don't even look the same. It's crazy. It is. And Warrior J just said this as well. The extension of Palestri's contract is now one of Manchester United's priorities. But you said Diamond, so you're looking at Amrabat at the base. And then what is it? Like Bruno to the right of it, Casemiro to the left of it, and then Mount in the 10. And then obviously Rashford and Højlund up top. We may see that. Someone else did mention that yesterday in regards. Has Ten Hag ever played a diamond? Not even necessarily
No, not yet,
but like
not yet.
at Ajax, if anyone knows. Has he ever tried the diamond?
Don't know, but I can check that out to see what's going on.
I reckon with Ajax, he probably has because he's more flexible with his formation at Ajax and they've got a better understanding. Whereas us, we're still trying to figure ourselves out and find out things. We're still experimenting with formations and they just can't get it and understand it as well. But it is what it is, man. But I have a feeling that he probably tried it in Holland because it's possible to do that. But here, it's tricky. It's a tricky one. I don't even recall that much teams in the Premier League being as successful with a diamond compared to the great AC Milan, who loved the diamond back in the day with Ancelotti, and they're doing it right now with Real Madrid with Ancelotti. So, yeah, I haven't seen it with Ten Hag, man. Let's be real. Hope we can see it. We want to see some flexibility. But the only thing I have to say, Kojo, is I worry with the players' level of understanding with these tactics. It's, you know, I always say I don't feel like we have the players to execute Ten Hag's philosophy because you know some of these players just can't do it. They can't do it on the half turn. You know, they can't hold the possession or retain possession really well as well. You know, Bruno and all that kind of stuff. You know, booming things around like that. So yeah, man, I would like to see it. But I'm just worried that the players might not be able to execute it.
Let me not lie though, yeah. Let me not lie. Like, but they're not doing it in the current formation. And truth be told, you may not have been playing 4-3-3 for far too long now. You know what I mean? So it's one of them ones where at some point we just got it's make or break. I keep saying it. I've been saying this for years. A lot of years should be on make or break seasons by now. If you can't learn to adapt to a new formation where you're given another role. I don't know what's there for you. If I'm being very honest, I mean, I think it's quite simple in terms of, you know, you'll see it. Rashford will probably drift to the left a little bit, Bruno to the right, or Højlund in the middle. It will turn to a 4-3-3 again. But bro, these men, they've come here and quite frankly, they're stolen a living, man. If they underperformed in a normal job, they wouldn't be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
that's facts. That is facts. I
just don't have time for it anymore, man. Quite frankly, sink or swim kind of situation. And it's also good for Ten Hag and the club because if you see certain man just can't adapt to anything, then man should be next on the list to get out. That's just how I see it.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you in regards to like the make or break thing because it's been break. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had enough of the vast majority of this team. That's why when people say, "Oh, it's make or break season," it's like he's been here 5 years. How much more evidence do you need to realize this player is good enough or he's not? Like you said, in any other job, if you're there for 5 years, you know what I'm saying? Minus, I don't know, maybe being a comedian. Minus being on stage, like they age like fine wine in terms of, look, if you're in any normal job and you are there for 5 years and you underperform, you're gone or you're demoted or you're deemed not good enough. But it's only in football. We see comps and have this hope and this belief that all of a sudden these players can turn it around. But then on the flip side of that, a player will come in, have one bad season, and people are quick to write him off. And I'm like, but such and such may have been it. Luke Shaw's a prime example of that. I still can't believe we're still having conversations about Luke Shaw, about him being good enough or being not, who's been here almost a decade. Like, how much more evidence do you need? What is the sample size? This man has been here almost a decade. Surely we know the level he's at, the level he's gonna be at, what level he can play at, and where he's just at as a footballer. But people still, we can get the best out of him. What's the best out of Luke Shaw? Like, what are we talking about? Go on, Ryder. We gotta run this again. Say
Oh my
something.
good now.
Nah, still getting the echo, fam. Are we coming through your headphones?
Yeah.
Is it? Alright, come fuck it, we'll run it. So yeah, is what it is. Where was we at?
Unless my mic's broken or something.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, because normally you're patterned and let us know in the chat, people. Is Rhino echoing for you, lot? Let us know in the chat.
It's true.
Because if it's the case, it might just be me and my Ivorian, because Kojo said that he's fine for him. So it might be on our side still. So let us know. Let us know, people, in regards to that. But yeah, so where was we at? Yeah, Rhino, like I said, we'll go to you. Who would you like to see hold down the right-hand side slot with Anthony now having a leave of absence? Is it Palestri? Is it a Mount? Is it a Bruno? Is it a Sancho? Where are you at with it?
I feel like I think we have played a diamond against Man City. I think we played a diamond.
Oh.
And Bruno played
Was that last season?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. But yeah, man. Palestri. I personally don't think he's ready for 4 minutes. But if we can integrate him somehow, maybe start Bruno on the right for the first half, and the second half bring Palestri on, then yeah, I think that'll be cool. Or is the echo gone now? It's gone now.
Yeah, it's gone now. Yeah, it's gone now.
Hallelujah. That's what I'm gonna say when the Glazers leave. But listen, anyway, cool. Now I can get in my vibe because I'm feeling a bit, cool.
Getting the vibe, fam. It's cool. Yeah. Say your piece. It's all good, man.
So yeah, in regards to I think we have to integrate Palestri in some way. Like Kojo and Ivorian. I don't know if you mentioned it, Flawless. He's been starting for the international team. He's been doing well outside. When he's had a few minutes for us, he's been doing his thing as well. I do trust Ten Hag's judgment in knowing when the player is ready. He took a while to integrate Garnacho when we even wanted him earlier than Ten Hag did. He said, no, you know what? He needs to fix his mentality. I know when he's ready. Brought him in at the right time. Tried to start him this season. You could argue maybe he's not ready to start, or you could argue that, he needs to warm into it. Plus, now we have a striker, so the system's going to change a lot. The spine is kind of complete in a sense. Now we have a striker. So I'm very critical now. We've got a striker, but we still have things to blame because he's not ready. He's still raw, but we still do have a focal point now. So I'm very interested to see how Manchester United play now with a striker now. Because if you think about it, Ten Hag's never had a striker. We can't rely on Martial realistically. He's had his few cameos and whatnot, and I call it cameos because that's how much he's injured. Yeah. So, we've had a few cameos from Martial, but now we look like we have somebody that is bringing a few dynamics to our club. So let's see how we play. But, Palestri would have to be on the right in some way if we can integrate him. Hopefully he's ready to start. But if he's not, we start maybe the first 45, 50 minutes with Bruno, and then we switch it up, or depending on how the game's going and whatnot. But yeah, I would hope Palestri. And if Sancho was to give an apology, I know everyone's got their opinions, but I just feel like he's right to respond to the manager. Fair enough. The manager shouldn't have even said anything in the first place. But we're here now, innit? So if they could kind of make peace somehow and they both kind of maintain their respect and whatever, then hopefully we can see Sancho there. But listen, Sancho, the ManDem, I don't think he's looking.
Talk about that. Yeah, that was gonna be my next question anyway, and get your thoughts on that initially. So with Ten Hag criticizing Sancho after the loss to Arsenal, Sancho then responding on socials. What was your thought process originally when it happened, and what's your thoughts on it now?
Okay, cool. So I'm with it. Once you say something in public, you've got a right to respond. But then at the same time, sometimes you have to play chess and hold your emotions down and respond in other smarter ways. So possibly Sancho, think about how ironic it is that a day or two after he's responded, we've got that whole Anthony situation. So I think maybe God's providing the message in hindsight that, bro, you know what, if you didn't say nothing, you might have just been slipped into the squad. You feel me? And I think that's crucial because you can't fake this. 2 days after, we need a right winger. Who's a good right winger? Who's had his best moments at United? Sancho on the right. So I feel like we've got our message answered somehow. You might not agree with it. You might say, but think about it. If he just held his tongue for a couple more days, and it's the example I use, innit? I grew up on the streets and I grew up on the roads. But now I'm a big man. When I'm walking on the street, and someone's walking towards me on the pavement, I can move out the way and I won't feel like my pride's hurt. Another man will feel like, no, let me stand there and make sure that he moves. You know, I'll move out the way. So you get me? If it turns into another situation, then that gets handled accordingly. But just because you move out the way and you lower your pride, it doesn't make you a dickhead. So there's different ways you can kind of show that you've got pride there and you've got sense. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like mentality-wise, there's something else happening. There's definitely something else happening. You know, people have this theory about him having favorites and whatnot. And we could argue that, yeah, Anthony does play regardless, but we don't know what the manager sees, why he plays Anthony. There must be something. No managers are stubborn. There's something he sees Anthony's doing that maybe he's just hoping it clicks one day. But then again, we don't have the patience for that as well. We need to win games. It's our second season. So it's very hard as a Man United fan, man. We keep, you know, there's good and bad. Like, there's two voices. It's annoying. But, yeah, with Sancho, I just feel like maybe he could have responded a bit smartly. Don't think of your emotions. Try and think long term. But I obviously, you get me. I get it. But, yeah. I think there's smarter ways to respond.
I was going to say, here's the thing with that, though, because you mentioned it. Say Sancho didn't say anything and then the Anthony situation happened. Do you believe that Sancho still plays on... Cause I still have my doubts if Sancho's going to play on the right. Yeah. I just don't think Ten Hag, he's for Ten Hag.
That's the thing.
That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
That's what I look at it. But go on.
You're right. Ten Hag might not be rating him, and that's another thing as well. And maybe he did have a bad week that week. I don't know. This so much here. There's so much speculation, but... Like you said, he's not Ten Hag's player. And Ten Hag, realistically, if you look at the whole this last season and the start of this season, Ten Hag took him out for a couple months, did separate training with him, protected him in the interviews. So that alone kind of shows me something. Why is he not protecting him now? What's happened? What's changed? Something's happened. Because you protected him last season. What manager is going to let a player go out for 2.5 months and still integrate him? You saw him on the sideline when he first came on. You saw the response from the crowd. I don't know if you guys felt it.
You saw the display picture with Sancho next to Ten Hag, bro.
There has been a disconnect
Instagram
somewhere.
display picture was Sancho with next to Ten Hag, you know, bringing him in.
Bringing him in, and he was like, "Listen, it's like it's like Ten Hag was like, listen, guy, you got this, bro. It's your time, you know." So I don't know what's happened. Something's definitely happened, and the dynamics have changed behind the scenes. And that's one thing as fans that we have to factor in when we're trying to make our opinions, that we don't have the bigger picture. So, yeah.
No, that's fair enough. And people are mentioning in the chat, so we'll go there in regards to Garnacho. People ain't mentioned him, so I'll go to you, Ivorian, on that. Maybe Garnacho on the right, or maybe Rashford goes over to the right, Garnacho on the left. Where are you at with that? Hey, Coach Jordan, I'm going to go to you. I know what your thoughts is on that. I'm the same. I got to ask the questions, though, because people are asking in the chat. So I'm going to ask. I'm going to just facilitate. Yeah, go on, Ivorian.
Yeah, I'm going to answer that question, plus give my thoughts on Garnacho. I mean, on Sancho too, with that situation, because I think I said it earlier on, with Rashford playing as a right wing, I've seen it and I didn't like it. So let's see what Garnacho can do on the right wing, although he's had his best spell playing on the left wing and much more of an impact. Because Garnacho's younger, still learning. Well, Rashford is young and he's still learning, I can say that. But Rashford on the right, it doesn't work. We've seen it, we've tried it, we tested it. It never worked. He's not himself. He's not his natural self when he plays that. But with Garnacho, let's try that on the right-hand side and see if it works. You know, if it doesn't work, we bring in someone else at the end of the day. We've got options. But with the Sancho situation, guys, people already know me. I'm a man of discipline. I'm a disciplinarian. I'm a believer of discipline. And I've come from a strong household, you know, where you've been given a lot of stick and you shut the fuck up and you take it like a man, because I'm an African child. And Sancho as well, he's a man from the Caribbean as well. And I know what it's like to be a Jamaican man, a guy from Trinidad as well. And especially the way our parents...
Someone said that
Trinidad and Tobago,
I did not know he was Trinidadian. He caught me by surprise.
Oh, an Asian man. When we come from a family where love isn't really shown like that, especially. And of course, when you get your manager telling you in public, just like the way my parents would diss man in public in front of the aunties and uncles, you know, especially when they're not happy as well. Coach has probably had that where he's been called a stupid fool in front of his uncles and aunties, and all he can do is shut the fuck up and take it like a man and say nothing about it, you know. Whereas with Jadon Sancho, yes, in life you get criticized, you know, especially by your manager. He may have done it publicly and he wasn't aware that he criticized. He may have done it wrong as well. But you, on the other hand, it's your job to take in the negative criticism, turn it into a positive. Don't just lash out on a manager. Yes, I understand what he did was wrong. Yes, manager should have never said that. But what you've done, you should have never done. You have something pinned up to this day. Till this day. You get me? Roll that to my guys. Or to this day, it's still pinned up. You know, being a South London youth, you know, I'm a South London youth as well. We know how to behave. You know, we don't always have to be all aggressive and all that kind of stuff, man.
Same as
for example. Yeah.
Sancho's in my belief. Sancho's in the wrong. Listen, we've all been insulted in life in front of people. And we swallowed a hard pill and just walked on and said, you know what? Yeah, I will tell you privately that I didn't like what you done. Like, I've come to my manager and said, yeah, you shame me in front of everyone, but I'm going to come to you in the office and I tell you, listen, I hear that, but I don't like what you've done, you know? Like, I'm not happy.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think, Rhino, mute yourself. I think it's when you and
Let me mute myself.
at the same
Somehow-
time.
No, do you know what it is? I think it's from Ivorian, you know.
Is it?
I think so.
Is that what you're saying?
Because
Yeah,
when you're
Chandler-
talking, I can hear something, and then when I
But-
speak, I can hear my
but-
echo as well.
But
Yeah.
Kojo muted, so we
Oh,
can hear
Kojo's
it.
mute us, Kojo
Yeah.
then. Yeah, it's because it's gone now.
It's cool.
Don't worry, I'm going to
Right,
mute
yeah,
myself
anyway.
after, you know? We're playing a blame game out here, you know? It's like, it's your fault.
No, respectfully, sorry, man.
It's all good.
Man trying to get out the
But
line.
going
That's
out-
People in
no,
the
but
chat know
Ivorian,
what it
even
is, man.
to carry
Live
on what you're
shows
saying,
people.
I
Go on,
agree
Rhino.
with you. Sorry, Flawless. I agree
That's
with you.
cool.
Like, just be smart and just be calculated. Like Wan-Bissaka, I watched his interview and he was saying how, look, he's seeing the criticism all over when he wasn't getting played and how he should get dropped. He said he just knuckled down and just put in the work on the pitch and in the training ground. And look at him now. Up to now, he don't complain, you know. And I feel like obviously not everyone's the same, and we can't expect the same mentality from Wan-Bissaka as Sancho. They're different people, but there's smarter ways to respond. And realistically, as much as the manager kind of went wrong doing what he did, just try and maintain that respect for him, you know, and just try and do it.
And
Do it
to add
differently.
to that, Rhino, yeah? Man's moving like the manager can't criticize you. He's your manager. He's allowed to criticize your performance, you know? Whether it's public or behind closed door, he's allowed to name shame you. Like, we've all been name shamed in front of people. Like, it is what it is, man. Like, you're a man at the end of the day, and you're a footballer, professional footballer. Behave professionally and respond to him in the way he will respect you too. Say, and then he'll be like, you know what, Sancho? I should have said what I said. You know, I apologize, but I've seen the way you responded, and you turned it around on the football pitch, and I apologize. And Rhino again said this again. A man that's publicly backed you 1 year ago, giving you time out for a month, it's not normal. To me, it seems to me like Ten Hag has given him the opportunity. He's backed him, and he's not seeing it anymore in training or throughout the whole preseason. And he's thought, you know what? I've given him an opportunity, and I've let down. He's still not doing what we've asked him to do, and that's the reason why he's not getting in the first team. It's football at the end of the day. Sancho, you're on 350k. You're not performing. It's been 3 years. You can't complain. No one should back him. He's on 350k. When you're on 350k, you're allowed to get all the criticism in the world because you're high earner, you know.
No, I hear that in regards to the criticism, because I've never defended his performances on the pitch because he hasn't done enough. He has not done enough. I said this all summer long. I said it last season. It was actually make or break. I was like, all right, you had your first season. Yeah, you was under Oli Ragnick. It was a mess. Ronaldo, the whole scenario. Everybody underperformed. But now it's second season. Okay, now it's time to deliver. And he had ample opportunities. Like, I don't know about in terms of minutes, but he played one more match than Anthony in the Premier League. Like, people forget that, despite him being away for a couple months. And I have no issues with him going away for a couple months, whatever the scenario was. That was actually a smart move, I think, on all parties involved to try and get the best out of him. But he came back. He was a little bit better, but he was nothing special. And don't get mistaken, he wasn't the only one. This is why Rhino mentioned it. I've mentioned it. He is not a Ten Hag player. If Sancho was elsewhere, to me, Ten Hag's not going to go and try and sign a Jadon Sancho. He should have been moved on. And now you hear reports about, the relationship's broken down and he's going to look for a move in January, which could be true, which could be not. I don't know in regards to the sources.
Flawless,
but this should have been sorted out.
I'm thinking as well, yeah. I
Go
think I've heard you say it previously as well. Obviously, Sancho started in the false nine pre-season. Season has started now, and all of a sudden Rashford's in the middle. So I feel like maybe he's taken that to heart, but I feel like just be smart and keep quiet, because we see it at Man City, and I hate always going to Man City, but sometimes you have to. People like Foden just keeping quiet. You know, he's had a few mishaps with Pep that we've kind of heard about. He's just kept quiet and waited for his turn. And I feel like that's what we need to kind of do in this era. Just keep quiet and wait your turn. If it gets to a point where they're ridiculously singling you out, then cool. But just 4 games in, just, you know, let it load a bit. Let at least 10 games come, you know what I'm saying? So he should have just kept quiet and said, you know what, my time's going to come. And I feel like that's the mentality that we need to have. Because we have social media now as well, people are just tempted to just put things out there, and you know, there's other ways to answer these, kind of respond. And like Ivorian said, Ten Hag would have probably even rated him even more. Like, raw, you know what? Boom, you've got integrity there. You know,
There is though, yeah.
Before you go, let me just add this one thing. This is the first time Sancho's ever been called out by a Manchester United staff member. Yeah, in the 3 years he's been here, and this is the way he's behaving after one call out. This is why I don't understand. I don't get that. This is the first the whole 2 season before, you can be called out several times. There's been so many opportunities for manager to go and publicly criticize you. Yeah, in those 2 seasons ago, but they haven't until now. Your first season in, and then you're throwing a strop. Like, I don't like the behavior. I'm sorry, but Kojo, go ahead.
No, I hear you guys. The thing for me is, it's not even in defense of him, but I feel like there has to be an aspect where we do look at Ten Hag, and it's not about criticizing him either. Like I said, he's a disciplinarian, and that's why he runs his shift, how he's going to run his ship. At the end of the day, you're either on it or you're not. You know what I'm saying? But this is why I implore man management needs to become a big thing here, because I'm not saying sort of cuddle Sancho just because that's what Sancho needs. I don't care about all of that. You said it. I'm an African boy. I'm Ghanaian. My dad didn't give me no cuddles when I was being stupid. He would tell me to go sort my behavior out, then we get the cuddles there. You know what I mean? Absolutely. But there's certain ways to deal with players. And if you look at Sancho, I mean, all of us can see Sancho's character from time. This is the kind of guy that can hack any public pressure, especially now in this era of social media and how crazy it is. He can't hack that. Even before he was sent away by Ten Hag to go and do the training and everything else, guy was already inactive on social media. It's like he closed everything off. He locked it off. So you can tell by his character, he hasn't got that. He hasn't got that. Us man here can deal with that. He can't deal with that. That's not his thing. You know what I'm saying? So me as manager, I'd be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna tell you behind closed doors instead. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, I don't like the way you're training, so you ain't gonna play. Because if Sancho thinks his training's fine, and Ten Hag's gonna say that the training is not fine, then that's really a disconnect. Quite frankly, he's your manager. He decides if you play. You need to get to his level of training. That's what we want. Because now we're seeing clips of, for example, who was it? Bruno Fernandes doing push-ups, and you see Sancho in the distance doing quick foot push-ups like this, and then trying to run away from the grind. He ain't built like us, man. So I'm not expecting him to be like that personally. But I want Ten Hag to just be a bit more better with my management. That said, I already said to you, Flawless, so when the last time you had me on, bro, this is Sancho's final chance, man. 3 years, you know my game. 3 years. If you don't run it this season, you better run somewhere else, my guy. It is what it is. I want you to shine. I don't hate any footballer. Facts. I want every footballer to. I want football's entertainment. I want to enjoy myself watching the game. As much as the entertainment's kind of falling out of football these days because more robotic. But point being, I want to be entertained. So if it's here or somewhere else, run your game. When Pogba left, I was like, you know what? It ain't worked out here. Go UV and run your game. Unfortunately, things have gone from bad to worse. But you know, I just want to see people shine. So, hey man, if it's not at United and if it's back at Dortmund, so be it. So, until then, I don't want to see.
Yeah, that's Kojo. What a quick response to what you said. Yeah, I definitely agree. Ten Hag, obviously, we know he's kind of even learning. Realistically, he shouldn't be learning about man manager because he's had a good experience. But maybe in the Premier League and bigger stance of players, he's learning. So I agree with that. But then what if the whole last season he tried that way and now he's not happy? So he's saying, you know what? Let me just try a different way. I've tried this way. I've put my arms around you, gave you personal training, integrated you slowly. It's not working. Maybe let me try the other way. But then again, it's very important that we go back to Sir Alex, as much as we don't want to. He treated different people differently. And he's a special guy, man. Let's just call it spade.
He's a different
coach,
different type of coach.
Different gravy. Yeah. So. But yeah, sometimes you do have to kind of cater to different people. But yeah, there's a lot we don't know, man. But All right, listen, guys. What a time to be a Man United fan, man. I keep saying this, man. What a time to be a Man United.
You thought, like I said right at the very start, man, you would have thought we were an international team the way we're in the news so much at international break. We're in the news more than England. Like, what's going on? Bear in mind, we are playing no football matches. We played no football matches. We've made no signings. We've made no sales. There's been no movement at the club in regards to ownership or anything of that nature. Yes, we've been in the news, I think, every single day, whether it's statements, you know what I'm saying, whether it's the manager saying what he's saying, players responding, El Ghazi rumors, the whole nine. But you've all said it in regards to Sancho. There's a lot of unknowns, and that's the biggest issue in regards to the training. That's why I didn't say, oh, Ten Hag's fully right. This is why I didn't say Jadon Sancho was fully right from the initial standpoint, because Ten Hag could be 110% spot on, and Sancho is not training to a high standard. And that's why he did indeed criticize him. On the flip side, Ten Hag could be unfairly criticizing and unfairly targeting Jadon Sancho for whatever the reason may be. And we don't know that. That's one thing I didn't like about this whole thing, when people was like, yeah, Jadon Sancho's clearly a bad trainer. How do we know that? We're not there watching training. We have no idea in regards to if Jadon Sancho, he could be the best trainer. He could be in the middle. He could be the worst. I think I've already mentioned it earlier, or I think it was Kojo who said maybe he had a bad week. Maybe it's that. Like, there's so much unknowns in regards to this. But I think it is being blown out of proportion. Like, players and managers don't have debates and arguments on a weekly basis. This happens on a weekly basis. They're playing high-level sport. If you think everyone is friends and it's all nice at Manchester United, it wasn't like that when Manchester United was successful under Sir Alex Ferguson. We know about bust-ups. That's the ones we know. I don't think this was a regular thing where a player could disagree with a manager's formation, manager's selection, being left out of a certain game, etc., etc. We know about this. Like, I think it was Scholes who refused to get on the coach for a League Cup game, I think it was. That's Paul Scholes. You know what I'm saying? He still went on and still played. Imagine that was Jadon Sancho. Imagine against Brighton, whenever our next away game is, say, Bayern Munich, and Jadon Sancho refused to get on the coach to go to the airport to go Munich. Imagine what the conversation would be. Should never play for the club again. But Scholes did that. Again, people, all you have to do is do your research. That's legit it. And know that these things are going to happen. Like I said, this is high-level sport. You know what I'm saying? People at the highest are under severe pressure. Severe pressure. So that's why I don't have any issue with Sancho really responding back, because I can't criticize him for doing something I would have done. Because if you criticize me publicly and I think it's unfair, I don't care who you are. I'm going to respond back publicly. That's just me. So I can't sit here and say Sancho's wrong for that or he's unprofessional for that. And Rhino mentioned it. It's different. You have to deal with different characters in different ways. And very few players I've ever seen get criticized publicly, and it's worked. Very, very few. And that is on Ten Hag. Even though I think he is a good manager and his man management skills are pretty good, I think he just got that one wrong. Big up to Eddie in the cut as well, who says only you lot continue to get your questions in as well. Says only Don Dad is on the show. Love to see it. Hit the like, people. Hey, there's over 100 people in here right now. Big up to you lot. Over 100 people in the building. Only at 45 likes, man. Like check 1212. Let's get us up to 70 likes. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel as well. Sarcasm City TV. We are closing in on 8,000 subscribers. I think we're like under 30 away. So if you've not hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. Get us to 8K. Make sure you subscribe to Ivorian's channel, Rhino's channel, and Kojo's channel as well. Links are in the chat, people. I mean, drop the links in the chat, so make sure you do so as well. And to True Blue says, club comes before any player, no matter who you are, in my opinion. Of course it does, but sometimes managers get things wrong, same way players get things wrong. I don't think you always have to completely cut your losses, is what I'm getting at. Well, Kojo, we'll go to you in regards to, because you mentioned it about Ten Hag, and people have mentioned it in the chat. Where do you stand with him on the criticism he's received, not just with the Sancho situation, but overall, how the season's gone in regards to the transfers as well? Obviously, you got Mount, you got Onana, Højlund, etc., etc. I'd love to meet me as well in the chat. Go on, Val.
60 million. Anyway,
That's what he said, you know.
You know what it is, yeah? I still got time for him. I actually do have a lot of time for him. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good manager. And we made the point here earlier that I think it was Ivorian that made the point that the squad that we have just they can't run the game that he wants to play. Unfortunately, that's why I give managers 3 years. If you want to build your team, even if you're some Allardyce type, you need to take time and get your guys in. You know what I mean? Get your guys in, because hey man, it wasn't always long ball, man. You can't do long ball with Stelios and JJ Okocha. You know, there's a bit of flair in there as well. You know what I mean? But point being, as much as I've got time for him, my patience wears thin when I feel like you're doing stupid things. And signing Mason Mount for 60 million is stupid. Not signing the player, the fee for a guy that has 1 year left in his contract is stupid.
Talk about
Just like Arsenal spending 53 million on Kai Havertz is stupid. These two clubs should not have given over 100 million to Chelsea for two players that were just not doing anything. That's poor. That's poor business. Number two, stupid thing for me is I refuse to believe that you couldn't find a loan or a better deal than Weghorst last January. That's another stupid thing that I can't accept.
That's fair.
And that's how I see it. And thirdly, whether it's him or the board or scouts or whoever, if you can't get Kim Min Jae, we shouldn't be going from Kim Min Jae to Johnny Evans. We shouldn't be running that back. That should not be happening. I don't know where the disconnect is happening there, but that should not be happening. So it's one of them ones where I'm just watching him carefully because from what we've heard, I mean, again, rumors are rumors. Football, you never know what's going on really and truly. He has quite a say in transfers. And if you're looking at players that have been brought in, there are players that he's had a past relationship with, no matter how short or long it's been. So I'm looking at it and thinking, you're doing this maybe because the style of football you want to play, these guys know it best. So ideally, these are kind of the caliber of talent that you're going to bring in. But at some point, you've got to make a change here. And I will say this again. Eredivisie is not the Premier League. You can run Ajax football in Europe because you have a different type of styles, different type of teams, different nations. You know what I mean? You can mix up a little bit. The Premier League is a bit more foreign than it was maybe 10 years ago in terms of the styles of football. Everyone's trying to copy Pep Guardiola and all that rubbish. But
culture never changed, man.
But the physicality and all them things,
right.
the physicality and all them things, they're still there. The Premier League's hustle and bustle is still there. Those are the things you need to adapt to, you need to get used to. And if it means playing one type of football and team in one for the weekend and then going to Champions League against Bayern Munich and playing a different style of football, do your thing there. You know what I mean? But I'm just not happy with seeing that he's sort of sticking to one style and seeing it's not working. Or better yet, worse yet, seeing that some players are just not working in the 11 and continuing to persist with them. Like Anthony. Yeah, I know he's away in absence now, so I can't really mention him anymore. But he had maybe, I'd say 10 straight games where he was doing niche and he's still in the lineup. And it's not even to defend Sancho, but imagine you're a Sancho sitting on the sideline thinking,
yeah, what have I got to do to get my shot? If
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Poorly. And that's rightfully so. Yeah, 100%.
It's that kind of stuff. It's that kind of stuff that I worry about, So, and I'm going to critique him everywhere. I critique every manager. That's just how I see it. So I've got time for him. He's got 3 years. This is only year number 2. I think he dealt with the Ronaldo situation well. He's done some things great, very good for the team. I think we're trying to see a slightly better brand of football getting in there to entertain the fans. I'm not an entertainer. I'm a winner, by the way. I prefer using Mourinho. Entertain or win.
You win.
I don't care.
Win.
Whether
yes,
it's 5-0 or 1-0. I don't care if I have 9% possession. If I score 1 goal and I win, I don't care. I'm out. See you later. Yeah. That's my thing.
Talk about it, man. This is why we get on because I'm on the same. I win. You know what I'm saying? Everyone wants to look pretty.
I don't care how you do it.
You know what I'm saying? Win.
Man, they're like, it's a miracle. How's Haaland having like 10 touches and scoring 3 goals? Yeah, because he's a striker. That's his job. I don't need you to be doing Firmino. Bang goals. Stay there. Do your thing there and I'm happy. So if you can get Højlund and them man doing those things as well, stay there, do your thing there. But look, this is second season. He's got us back into the Champions League. It's only 4 games in. Let's see what happens after the international break. But I'll tell you right now, Flawless, if we get panned by Brighton again, you might not want to invite me onto this show. Believe me.
Now you said that, I'm going to. You know what I'm saying? If we get packed, I'm going to shout you in it because I'm going to want to know your thoughts in regards to that. Yeah. Definitely get because we'll go back to that because even Jez just said in the chat, Flawless, ask Kojo about the Zerbi. We will get to that, but Rhino will go to you in regards to Ten Hag because he's someone who's received a lot of criticism. Some of it I think fair, some of it I personally think has been over the top in regards to results, style of play, signings, etc. Where are you at with everything I've just mentioned there?
I'm quite content to be honest. I've looked at the whole thing and looked at the bigger picture. And I'm making sure that I'm not reactionary, especially bearing in mind that it's 4 games in. I think Ten Hag has done a brilliant job based on all the circumstances that he's had to deal with, on top of trying to get the team to play a good brand of football and increase and change the mentality and the whole dynamics at Manchester United and bring Manchester United back to the club it used to be. Like, I think it was football. Alice Talks Football. She put out a list of the last. I can't remember how many years it was. I think it was probably the last 5 years.
I'll get that for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, the last 5 years of everything that Manchester United has gone through as a club. And when you look at it, everyone wants to say, "Oh, but other managers go through this." No manager is having one of the biggest football players in the world go on one of the biggest interview platforms in the world and doing interviews slandering their name. And I don't care. Yes, we can say that, okay, Ten Hag made up his mind and that was an easy decision. Do you know how much pressure that is? He already has the pressure of captaining this Manchester United ship, which is arguably one of the biggest ships in the world. Yeah,
Yes,
he's gone from an Eredivisie little like seaside boat to a Titanic now. You feel me?
Yeah.
So like the Ronaldo situation, Greenwood, Anthony, Harry Maguire, and McTominay not leaving. I don't know so much about McTominay, but Maguire's situation, all of that is a lot. And I think people understate how big it is. Pause. But I feel like you have to pause.
Pause.
I don't even like this pause thing, but this pause.
Nah, pause is funny. To me, it's funny, man. I just say pause. I pause from a comic effect. That's funny.
Yeah.
Go on, carry on, man. Carry
You
on.
feel me? So I just I highly rate what Ten Hag has done, and I know he hasn't been perfect. I know he's made certain he's done lineups that we don't agree with. I know he's made in-game management choices that we don't agree with. But at the same time, we don't use that to now downplay the times he did well. He had the highest amount of substitutions scoring off the bench last season.
He did.
You know, we can't
people
forget,
overlook that.
We can't
that
take the bad and then forget the good. So I don't mind criticizing him. I don't mind saying this is wrong, that's wrong. But I'm not going to be Ten Hag out. And I'm not going to forget all the good he's done with the circumstances. So I'm quite content. And I'm just hoping that he gets this season right as well. Because just because he's done good first season doesn't mean he's going to do right second season. So I'm just hoping that he's the manager to bring us forward and he can do a good job second season. He did mention that second seasons are always a bit harder than people think. So I think he already knows what he's going through. But now he's got this Sancho thing to deal with. Now he's got Johnny Evans and he's got Leicester centre-backs right now. It's crazy what situation we're in right now. And I agree with Kojo. And it goes back to these owners. I know people always say, oh, you guys always blame the owners. But you guys don't understand it, so you're Man United fans. Like, the way the Greenwood situation has been handled, the way everything's been handled wouldn't be like this at a different club, because everything will be systematically in place to solve it. Do you know what I'm saying? Whether it's to do certain vetting before players come in or whatever, things will be sorted out behind the scenes. Manchester United, everything gets put in the limelight. You know, we lose, we win. Brighton lose 5-0, like you said, flawless. De Zerbi doesn't have to deal with the whole internet going crazy.
Facts.
Everyone moves on and they're happy. United can't lose 5-0. We can't lose 7-0. We're Manchester United. And fair enough, we're not the same Manchester United we were before, but we're still a big brand. And we do have to find the balance between knowing that what we were before and what we are, but at the same time still having the respect of the fact that we're still Manchester United. I think it's a fine line, because we are not the same no more. We're going for Weghorst and Sabitzer loans. We're not the same Man United, but it's still important to realize that with these owners, Ten Hag has one hand tied behind his back. So you might argue and say, okay, cool, but what about the fact that he knows that the Glazers are like this? Why don't you prioritize your signings? Because someone might say, okay, you know what? You know the Glazers might shag you. Don't buy Mount first. Buy Amrabat first. Buy Mount after. But then sometimes it's hard to find the balance. You don't know what he's been promised behind the scenes. So we have to always remember the order of the signing is not always the priority. Look how long Rice got taken. Look how long Rice took to sign. Rice took long to sign. But we don't... what I'm saying, I might contradict myself, because I still feel like maybe Mount was his main signing, but sometimes it's not always the first signing that's the main signing. I'm trying to say, sometimes you just get it order, you do it in order of convenience. Okay, this is what I'm going to do first. Let me get this rolling, and then Amrabat was waiting since June, and obviously I can say it now, but I've got connections to people that are connected to some people in his camp, and he was waiting. He was literally just waiting, and he literally said it's on United. And obviously, there's certain things you can say live. There's certain things you have to wait till after the show's done, you talk, because you can't speak on certain things until they're active. But I was privileged to hear that, And I was thinking, rah, he's waiting. So there's a guarantee. He knows why he's waiting. He don't want Liverpool. He don't want, I think, even
There was other
a
clubs
few
who was
teams.
interested in him. Yes, there was.
So
there was.
what I'm trying to say is sometimes Ten Hag might say to himself, okay, you know what? Amrabat knows that I'm going for him. Let me just sort out these other ones because that one's not going to really be a problem. And then by the time you realize it, McTominay didn't leave. Van der Beek didn't leave. Who else was meant to be leaving? Van der Beek, McTominay, Maguire was meant to get to Debo and all these defenders. A lot of our players didn't leave. So we have to remember that we didn't get players in because our players didn't leave. Then you might say, okay, why did you rely on the players leaving? Maybe the FFP is true. Maybe we do have to sell to balance our books out because we've overspent in the last couple of years. So we've had a tough time at this club. So I just remember the good and just remain positive. And hopefully we get 10 games in. We've got someone like Amrabat in. We've got a good, if all our players come back, Kobe Mainoo, Amrabat, everyone comes back from injury, Varane, Martinez. We've got an all right squad that
decent. It's decent.
So, and now with a focal point there and a balanced midfield, hopefully we might see a different Ten Hag this season. So I'm just hoping and I remain positive, man. But at the same time, I'm not going to be scared to criticize if things do go left, but not in the aspect of Ten Hag out. Just, you know what, let's get better, let's move on kind of thing. Yeah, that's it for me still.
And large up to everyone in the chat as well. So let me just address a couple things before we get to Ivorian, because I'm all for people disagreeing with me, poke holes in my arguments, but please don't say stuff that I never said. You know what I'm saying? And that, because these things we're doing here, live streams, they're recorded, people. So not only can you watch them live, you can go back and watch them afterwards. So let me get to this comment here from Divas, because like I don't know if you, because you mentioned me, so we're going to discuss, because I dislike this a lot because I'm very open and I'm very honest with everything. And poke holes in my argument all you want, but don't say stuff that I didn't say. You know what I'm saying? And if you're unclear,
I've seen you block people for that.
Listen, and if you're because people like I don't play with that. Like if you're unclear on something I've said, just ask. I'll explain it again. I've done that with many people. Where someone's like, you said this, I'm unsure what you mean by this. Can you elaborate on it? So he goes on to say, Sancho is partying in New York after calling the manager a liar and saying his training's not good. And player FC like Flawless want us to back the player over the manager, some Pogba FC vibe. So I go to this first and foremost in regards to, I'll start with the start of it. Sancho partying in New York after calling the manager a liar. So what, he can't go out? That's nothing to do with nothing. It does. That's so he's supposed to stay indoors because him and the manager have had a back and forth. I have no issue whether he was in New York, whether he was in London, whether he was in Woodcrest, he could go Springfield, he could go Quahog. It doesn't matter where he's at, where he's partying. That's nothing, that's no bearing whatsoever on the situation. Wherever he's going, it does not matter. He could be in Wakanda. It doesn't matter where he's at partying. It don't matter. I swear on my life, it really doesn't matter. In regards to I play at FC like Flawless want us to back the manager like others. That's how I know you're new here. Because I said all summer long, and me and Ivorian did this entire show. There's a playlist on the channel where you can go and check, and it's summer transfer playlist, summer transfer window, ManDem United podcast. And I said all summer long we should have sold Sancho. I said it all summer long on my platform and every other platform I'm on. It's not going to work here. He should have been moved on. So how am I player FC when I'm saying sell said player? And secondly, as well, I've also said on the scenario, and I said it on this show, and you've joined late, so that's cool in regards to it, that I'm not on no one's side because we don't know who's telling the truth. Ten Hag saying one thing, Sancho saying the other. Like I said, people just don't lie on my name. So I know I'm not player FC. And how can I be player FC of a player I said sell all summer long? There's episodes of this show with me and Ivorian talking about it all summer long. Yep. And I said, sell Sancho. He's not going to work here. He's not done enough. But hey ho, we move. You know what I'm saying? And just a couple other things I wanted to get to. But big up to you for locking in as well. There's a couple other things I wanted to get to. Because your name's not, obviously, big up to you because you said happy New Year to all the Ethiopians all over the world celebrating New Year today. So big up to all my Ethiopians, man. Big up Lewis, the whole Ethiopian country. Love to see that, man. Shout out all my Ethiopians. He says, nah, you're wrong, Flawless. Do you think Sancho would have reacted the way if our coach right now is Pep or Sir Alex? I can't speak for Sancho, so I don't know if he would have responded. All I can say is I would speak for myself. And I don't care who the manager is. If I get criticized publicly, I would respond publicly. That's what I stated. With Sancho, I don't know. 'Cause I don't know his character well enough to know if he had more respect for the manager or had a closer relationship, I should say, because I don't think it's a lack of respect. If he had a closer relationship with the manager, maybe he doesn't respond that way. And that's natural. If somebody criticizes you, who you have more of a closer relationship with, maybe you wouldn't respond that way. I'm just speaking for me. If I'm in any setting at any job and the manager criticizes me publicly, I am responding publicly. Obviously, I'd never played professional football, but I've done this when I've had regular jobs. I've been called out by managers. I've been called out by owners of companies and had it out with them in front of everybody. Because I don't go for that. I'm not with me. Criticize me privately, cool. You know what I'm saying? That's all well and good. But publicly, that's why I can't criticize Sancho for doing something I would have done. That's all it is. And just another one as well to Antonio, who says we can't judge Mount. Now the guy just come give the lad time. No, we can judge Mount because we prejudge every single signing. We prejudge every single signing. Same way if we were to sign tomorrow Mbappe, Alphonso Davies, and Kimmich, we'd be over the moon as Manchester United fans because we're signing 3 top quality players. We'd be absolutely over the moon if we sign Mbappe, Alphonso Davies, and Kimmich, 3 of the best players in the world in Europe in their positions. And I'm not saying we sign them people. I'm just using this as an example. If we sign them, what would the conversation be between us 4 on here and everyone? Look at the players. Look at the players we've got. We're signing. So with Mount, because we dislike it, and I dislike it personally, I can prejudge. Now I'll give him ample chance to fail or succeed. Do I think he fails 110%? Because I think it's a terrible signing. I agree with Kojo. I think it's a terrible. I spoke on this again all summer. Go back and check ManDem United's people. All on the channel. You can go back and check and me say, before we even put in the first bid, this is horrible. This is a terrible signing. This is horrible. We shouldn't do it. So that's what it is. But he's going to get time. But so far, he's played twice and he's been horrific in both games. They're 2 of the worst opening games ever seen. But because so much drama's gone on with Manchester United, people have forgot that was like season 1, episode 4. But now because we're on season 3, episode 6, people forget how bad he was. Because he got injured and the 2 games and the Sancho situation and Ten Hag and Sancho and Anthony, etc., etc. Like, that's all it is. We all prejudge signings. All of us prejudge signings. Whether we rate the signing or whether we don't. But hey, we lose.
Flawless, the same guy has said here, Antonio, big up for your comments anyway, your interaction. He says Casemiro has been worse than Mount this season.
Has he? All right, in my opinion,
I don't agree with it, but
again, Antonio, you're new here because the name is new. If you go back and check and people previous, you can hear me criticizing all these players. I don't know who you lot have watched before me. I don't know if this is Twitter. I don't know if there's other content creators, but judge me for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, poke holes in my argument. Hold my word against me. Don't come here with no preconceived ideas of what I'm going to think. Ask me, and I will tell you clearly. So you can go and check watch-alongs. You can go and check recaps. ManDem United, I do the show minimum 4 times a week. I do the crossover shows as well. I'm here every day that ends in Y talking about Manchester United. I've criticized Casemiro, people. It's all documented. It's all live-streamed. It's all live streamed. You can go, it's on audio platforms. Like, for real, like, you can go and check this of me criticizing Casemiro. And what I don't like as well, and someone mentioned this, how to defend the player, someone will say, oh, well, someone's been worse. Has Casemiro been good this season? No. Have I criticized him? Yes. Has he been worse than Mount? No. But they've all been bad, to be honest. But at least Casemiro, I've seen him play well. Yeah, Mount's played terrible twice. Yeah,
Arsenal, Casemiro was brilliant against Arsenal.
I thought he was very good against Arsenal, and I thought he was a big catalyst in us turning it around against Forest as well. Those 2 games.
Yeah.
They're those 2. Yeah. So yeah, people, for those that don't know me, I am not Player FC, and the regulars in the chat will know this. I will criticize my favorite players. I will criticize players I dislike. Just to clarify how much I don't rate this team, I would push 95% of this team off a cliff, people. Hypothetically, not literally. That's how much I don't rate. I'd keep like 3 players. Martinez, Varane, Casemiro. The rest of them can go if we get good offers. Not even good offers. If we get half decent offers. Most of them I'd let go for free. So I just have to clarify that because we got new people in the chat. I'm seeing new names, new avies, which is all well and good. So like I said, ask questions. Don't just wait, oh, why have you not criticized such and such? We haven't spoke about Casemiro. If you ask my opinion on Casemiro, I would give it you. Like, it's as simple as that. But let's bump up the likes as well. Over 120 of you lot in the building at 65 likes. Let's get up to triple digits, people. Goes up into triple digits. And to Antonio, who says it's weak mentality to call the manager a liar. Not if he's telling the truth. And that's what the thing is. The reason why it's not a weak mentality to state facts. Sancho believes the manager is lying. So therefore, he's going to call him out. I said this yesterday, I'll say this again. Anywhere you critique, you can be critiqued. If you call out somebody publicly, you can then be criticized publicly. The manager's not above that. He's really not. Like, and again, I can't criticize Sancho, and I will keep reiterating this, for something I would have done the same. It's like a content creator calling me out for whatever reason on socials, and then I respond to them, and they're like, why are you responding to me publicly? It's like, because you mentioned me publicly. It's not like it happened privately. That's all it is. And Ten Hag's my guy. Don't get him mistaken, people. I've defended Ten Hag more than most. I believe the vast majority of the criticism he has received this season is over the top. Has he made mistakes? Yes. But I think he's really, because he's made mistakes, I think people go over the top. Like, all managers don't make bad buys. City and Pep, who have the best manager, the best team, the best squad, the best infrastructure, make mistakes. Go look at Pep signings. What it is limiting the mistakes. Let's not act like they didn't sign Calvin Phillips last season.
Even try and even make what he's trying to say make sense. Maybe he's not articulating in the correct way. Unless Antonio, you mean that managers always have that pedestal because they're the manager. You work for the manager, cool. So maybe, do you mean that his mentality in regards to him responding, he should have responded in a different way? Is that what you mean? Like, maybe if you word it differently, I can kind of see what you're saying. But right now, what you're saying is not helping, my brother. So yeah,
it's not. And just quickly to Antonio, who says, but Mount is getting more hate when there are players who are worse than him. Word to my guy Alam, start putting names on those bullets. Who are these people? Because that's not here. I'm tired of people doing this, and this ain't just aimed at you, Antonio. Word to Alam, who said this. Start putting names on these bullets. Who is saying this? Because you're seeing it, whether it's content creators who are saying it, whether it's people in comment section on live stream saying it, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram, everything's named. So you can see who's posting this. So if Mount's getting more hate from, it might be mainstream media, it might be someone on Sky, it might be TalkSport, it might be BBC. Start putting names on bullets. I'm saying, because Mount hasn't been mentioned since he's been injured. I don't even criticize Mount because I just don't rate him. So why am I going to criticize a player for doing no more? He can't do any more than what he's doing. I know what he is. He's just not he's someone who has 8 opener play assists in 4 years. I know the level he's at. He's just not very good. So I don't expect any more from him. This is why I've not even criticized him for the first 2 games. Mason mounted. That's just legit what it is. But hey, we move. You know what I'm saying? We move, people. But you lot continue to bump up the likes as well. Let's see what else you lot are saying. But yeah, please, people, just ask questions. That's all you have to do in it if you're unsure. Just ask questions, but don't like if you dislike 95% of the squad, how much blame is that on Ten Hag signing and poor squad management? I blame him for 2 of his signings. There's 2 of his signings I don't like, and that's Mount and Anthony. The rest of the signings I like and I fucks with genuinely. So that's Onana, that's Martinez, that's Malacia, that's Ericsson, that's Hoyland, that's Amrabat, that's Casemiro. Am I missing anyone? Is that everyone he signed? Did I go through all his signings? So yeah, I like like I said, I like the vast majority of his signings. It's the squad before him. It's your Luke Shaws that I have issues with. It's your McTominays. It's those players. It's Bruno's. It's those players. Sancho, who I said we should have sold. It's those players. Martial, who I wanted gone. All of this is documented, people. So I do dislike 95% of the squad, but the vast majority of the squad is not Ten Hag's. I criticize him for 2 signings, Anthony and Mount. But managers are going to get things wrong. If he makes 1 bad signing every summer and we sign 4 to 5 players, I'm with that. Why are people talking about Mount? He's not better than Bruno, and Flawless does not rate Bruno, so Mount talk is useless. I agree with you, though. This is how you know here. I don't think Mount's better than Bruno. But again, this is people talking without knowing. I've said this. I'm on record saying I think Bruno's better than Mount. They're 2 cheeks of the same ass, but I think Bruno's better than Mount. None of them are good enough, to be honest, for where we're trying to go to. But again, this is a classic example of what I'm talking about. Like, I don't think Mount's better than Bruno. But hey, we move, man. Big up to Star-Lord as well for the super chat as well. Says big up Flawless, big up 3 points at the weekend is needed. Facts, it is. And just quickly as well to True Blue says Evans and Regulon. I don't count Evans because he's like 5th, 6th choice centre back, and Regulon's a loan. I'm not looking at loans because if they were super successful, I wouldn't credit him for them. So I'm not really looking at Evans and Regulon and going. It's like when we if we sign a 3rd choice goalkeeper. I'm not putting that down as a black mark against him or a plus. We're barely gonna see him. Evans is legit 5th, 6th choice and was a free. So yeah, I'm not looking at it like that. But hey, Starlord, big up. You've been a member for 7 months, but large up to you. But where was we gonna go to? Yeah, we'll go back to you actually, Kojo, because Jez mentioned it in the chat and he said ask Kojo when we are playing Brighton, so it makes sense about De Zerbi. So what's your thoughts on De Zerbi and that game as well, actually?
I like him. I also think he's another Pep copycat, but that's another discussion. But yeah, no, I like him. He's a good coach. Thing is, yeah, it's not that it's easy. It's not easy to succeed at Brighton, but Brighton are smart enough to have a system where they have good enough scouting to find gems, and they have managers that know they can sort of integrate into the team with these players properly. So it's been seamless. He hasn't gone there. He hasn't had to stress. The players that have been brought in have made sense for the style of football that he wants to play. Something that we could argue maybe our manager hasn't had, judged by some of the signings that we've made or emergency loan signings that we've made as well. So, you know, but I do like him. I think he's a good coach. Yeah, to me, he's not that special. I mean, I've heard people say, you know, when Pep goes, he might be next in line, and that's cute. But I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be that guy. It's a different type of pressure, my guy. Yeah, I mean, Brighton are a great team, and they're doing wonderful things. And he's at kind of a club where if their results start to dip, yeah, maybe he might be under pressure from the board in terms of, yeah, well, we're doing what's happening. But the fans, I don't think they'll kill him too tough. I think they'll be like, look, he's a good coach. We've got good young players here. And the team is very young, you know what I mean? Especially in the front line with, minus Welbeck and Ciso, Ferguson, so on and so forth. So, yeah, man, I think he's a good coach, but I always hold my tongue on saying these guys are ready for the next step because this country was very, 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 very convinced that Mr. Graham Potter was next in line. Facts. And he's definitely next in line at the job center. So, you know, hey, man, let's just take our time a little bit and see what happens. But yeah, he's good, man. He's good.
Yes. And are you confident going into that? Obviously, we got Brighton next. No. Are you confident going into that game? Not confident? No.
No, whatsoever. I haven't had confidence in Man United since the day we signed Marouane Fellaini, man. Just being very honest. Very honest.
That's fair. That's fair enough. That's fair. So what lineup would you actually like to see? Again, obviously we got to take out the players who are unavailable. With everyone available, what is the lineup you would like to see against Brighton?
Another end goal. I mean, Varane won't be back in it, so
no, Varane probably won't be back. No.
So it'll be, I guess, it has to be Martinez and Lindelof. Shaw not back. Malacia, no idea what's going on there. So I guess I'll still go Dallo and Wan-Bissaka because I'm telling you right now, Regulon. Anyone that remembers, yeah, man. Just hold on tight to that one.
Forget he's at our club sometimes. Yeah.
Facts.
Boy,
I forget about it.
I'm hoping. I'm gonna say this. I'm hoping that Amrabat was just dropped out because there's no need for him to play. They've qualified for the Nations League for the African Cup of Nations. Next game is a friendly, so they don't need him to play. So I'm hoping he's gonna play. So I'll put him there in midfield alongside Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes in a midfield 3. And I'll go Rashford, Højlund, and Pelestri, man.
Okay, that's fair. What are you saying right now in regards to the game coming up against Brighton?
Yeah, I definitely understand Kojo's lack of confidence in going into this game, man. Yeah. These players countless times have let us down, you know. I believe in Ten Hag though. We saw against Arsenal. I don't know if I've spoken to you guys since the Arsenal game properly.
No, we haven't. Not properly, no.
I was very happy with the tactics that Ten Hag set out, and we were just literally. I know I don't really like to do hypotheticals, but realistically, we were a hairline offside goal from having a masterclass. You know, if Garnacho's goal stood, you know, the way they build up play, even just the fact that Højlund was part of it, And the way I celebrated, you guys,
Facts.
the way I listen, the room. What's that song? That shake, shake, shake. The room was shaking. And then like I just made sure I didn't snap no one. I didn't say nothing to nobody because you know you don't want to jinx it and whatnot. But yeah, I feel like we were just literally offside go away from a masterclass. Yes, people could talk about passing out from the back and whatever and all of that stuff, but generally, Ten Hag has shown he can do tactics. So tactically, I think we can do well against the Zerbi. But my problem is the players, man. Are they going to live up to what they need to do on the pitch? That's the only problem, and that's why it's so hard being a United fan, because these guys can give us one half and then one good half, one bad half. They can give us a terrible game. So based on Brighton's form, they're looking all right. But who is it? Was it West Ham that smokes them? West Ham smashed them.
3-1 at home. Yeah. They
So
beat them 3-1 at home.
And we're at home, so we should hopefully carry on this fortress mentality that Ten Hag has built. Can't forget that. He's got a bad away record, but what?
The home
since
form is very good. The home form is
remember.
very good.
Stephanie that told me what year it was since Old Trafford was a fortress. It was crazy. The year that I don't know if it was 2011 or
It's probably 2013.
or
Last time we won the
2017
league.
or something. One of those years. But he's brought the fortress back. You got Ten Hag has brought Old Trafford as a fortress. I don't know how he's done it, but that's what it is. So hopefully that brings the best out of the players, and we should just go and do our thing against Brighton, man. But yeah, man, these players do let us down. But home wise, and Ten Hag normally been good with tactics, and hopefully we got a strong back four. If Lindelof and Martinez are there, and Amrabat comes in as well, Hoyland's there as well, should be decent, man. So I'm optimistic.
Ivorian, where you at with it in regards to the game coming up against Brighton? Back to Manchester United Football Club being a football club. We can actually talk about something on the pitch rather than all this off the field stuff.
Boy, it's going to be a one long game for us as well, especially that we're playing Brighton at home. Last time it didn't end too well.
Yeah. Psychologically, that's
psychologically
true.
as well. They got us as well. And then again, like Coach said, Brighton is a phenomenal side, but they're very strong as well offensively. They're set up right. The development of that team is far ahead compared to where we want to be. It's going to be a game where I hope we win. That's what I hope we win. But in my back of my mind, I feel like it's going to be a tough one for us to get that W. We may end up being embarrassed again by Brighton because it's just too good. I don't see Manchester United dominating possession against Brighton in that game. We may have less of the ball, but again, the only hope is the fact that it's your team. We're at home. Old Trafford's a fortress. Most likely, we're probably going to win. We're hoping to win. But in reality, it's not going to be like that, man. We would be lucky with a draw. I'll take a draw. I'll take a draw, man.
I hear you. You're right.
It's international
week. You're true. I hear
international week. You know, every time we come back from international week, we don't get the best of results as well. There's omens and things that just go against us. Like I always say, Arsenal away on a Sunday, Emirates Stadium, and the sun is out. We're always going to lose. You know, Manchester United returning back from international duty with the Champions League in mind as well, and with all this shenanigans that's happening this whole week, we're just waiting for another one so we can get trolled again. That's how I see it, man. The newspapers are waiting for it, bro. Like they already probably got it saved as a draft. Manchester United get destroyed by Brighton. Just waiting to post, you know. But no. In all jokes aside, I hope we can win, man. I really hope we can get that W, man, because we need it, man. Just to bring back positivity, man. We've been through a lot as a fan, as a club, you know, as well. And manager has gone through it as well, you know. It is keeping up at Old Trafford, keeping up at Carrington. We technically should be sponsored by E, the TV channel E, because this is what it's been at Manchester United for a long time, man. Let's get this W, man, so we can smile again, you know. So we can have a nice next week Tuesday. We can be smiling, you know, and be happy again for the Champions League match, because I believe it's the Champions League after Brighton, right?
Yeah, Bayern away.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, that was gonna be the next thing. We're gonna get everyone's
Oh.
thoughts on Champions League because I want to hear from
Leave
Brighton,
that W.
Kojo, and yourself. We are gonna get to that. But in regards to Brighton, simply because it's at home, that's where my confidence comes from in getting a result in this game. Do I think the performance is gonna be good? Probably not. Will we dominate possession? Probably not. But I can just see us somehow managing for whatever reason to get a win because it's at Old Trafford. I don't know what it is with this team, but at Old Trafford we just different. I don't know what it is. We beat literally every top team there last season, bar Brighton, Newcastle. I think we drew with, but we beat City, we beat Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, the rest of the big six. We beat them all. So yeah, with it being at OT, I'm looking at it and going, yeah, we will. And obviously the place will be rocking. Hoyland full debut. You know what I'm saying, at Old Trafford. Amrabat in the mix as well. I think that will be enough. And yeah, man. So it'll be interesting to see how Ten Hag sets up, who he plays on the right hand side. Is it Palestri? I would like it to be Palestri, to see Rashford on one side, Palestri on the other, because that's just electric pace on both sides and directness. And that's what I do indeed like. But hopefully we get the result. But that being said, well, before we close out, we will go to Champions League, obviously, because that's starting back, not this week coming, the week after. Manchester United drawing in the group with Bayern Munich, Galatasaray, and Copenhagen. Some Manchester United fans confident, some not no confident. I'm so confident. I'm somewhere in the middle where I think we'll get out of the group, but I think it will indeed be second. We'll go to you though, Kojo. Thoughts on the Manchester United Champions League group? Confident of getting out of the group? Do you think we will? Do you see it as Europa League? Do we finish bottom of the group? Where you at?
No, we better finish in the knockout stages. I can't lie. No, it's Galatasaray are a tricky team. Let me not front. They are a very tricky team. They've still got good players in there. They even signed Zaha this summer as well, didn't they? So they've got a good squad. Copenhagen, let me be crystal clear. Deal with them. I don't even want to hear a draw. If we dare draw any game against them, anything but 3 points, and there will be a war at Old Trafford, and I'll be leading that. We have to deal with them. Bayern, on the other hand, I actually feel like Old Trafford will beat them. Let me not lie. You said it.
Okay,
For some reason, we get a result somehow. But I am so scared about the game in the Allianz. That's the one that I'm fearful of. I think we could be into an absolute. I don't know what to use. And I think it all relies on what midfield and defense we pick, because I'll say his name again. I do not want to see Sergio Reguilon against Gnabry or Sane. I do not want to see it. I just do not want to see it. And I need Martinez on Kane, because I need to be aggressive enough to just keep chasing him down and not let him have shots. Because if we let Kane have the freedom that he's really had this season, we're in for a very long day. But yeah, no. Second is my minimum, of course. Finish second, get out of the groups, go to the knockouts, and yeah, man, that'll be fine by me.
Okay.
But
So
Galatasaray is a sticky one for me. That's the one I'm worried about. Not buying more so than buying. That's a bit of a tricky one.
I can see that. Galatasaray away, because we've seen this team fold away from home, so I hear you. The away games I look at and go, in particular Galatasaray and Bayern Munich. At home, I do understand the confidence because of our ability to just get results at home, so I do hear that. Yeah, True Blue, no one's sleeping on Galatasaray. So, Kojo, let me get your prediction. Where do you think we finish in the group?
Second.
You think we finish second? All right, cool. We'll go to you, Rhino. Thoughts on our group? Obviously, talking about Bayern Munich, Galatasaray, Copenhagen.
Kojo was looking for a word. He hopes it's bollocking. That's the word he's looking for.
That's the word. That's a great word. That's a great word.
Listen, Bayern, and we can't sleep on Galatasaray as well. They're definitely a dark horse within that group. One thing that would help us, I agree with you guys, the home form should help us. And I think there's something about Ten Hag where I feel like he's quite good in these cup competitions. I know we didn't finish well against Sevilla, but there's something about me that I feel like Ten Hag loves these Champions League nights, Europa League, or the European games. I feel like there's something about cup games that Ten Hag's very good with. So I'm hoping that we can see a bit of that as well. Looking like what we did against Barcelona, away from home as well, and at home. I feel like it was I think we played better away from home than we did at home, I think, if I remember.
Yeah, we played well away from home against Barcelona, and then the first half against Barcelona in the home game, we wasn't good, and then second half we turned that around. So I agree with you. I do agree with that.
So I'm just hoping that we can see more of that, that cup nights away from home playing well. So, because we had good confidence, we were playing against ballers, Lewandowski and all that. We were playing against ballers, and the ManDem had the right mentality to play their ball. So it was quite good. I enjoyed that game. Someone's saying Sancho just deleted his tweet. Oh, interesting.
So that means that means they probably sorted it out. Then it's like, all right, cool.
So let's
Probably.
see. Yeah, we'll get into that. That's interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, man. Second, let me just get into it. Yeah, predictions. I'm hoping we can come second, and Bayern's going to be a very tough game. From home, we should be able to get at least a draw or a win. Away from home, I'm not sure, but if we can see good form and good tactics and good mentality, I'm asking for a lot. I'm always having this "if we can," which is so annoying. Same when we say "if Martial's fit," I feel like I'm going through that. If we can, you know what I mean? But yeah, Bayern's going to be tough. Galatasaray is looking tough-ish, but second, I hope we should come second. I hope we do come second, and we kind of bypass the group stages. Yeah.
Well, as far as what you saying, Ivorian, in regard to that, I know we spoke on it more recently, but yeah, I don't know if your thought process has changed on it. Like, where do you think we finish in the group? Confident, not confident, etc.
Yeah, I just want to confirm that Jadon Sancho has finally realised that he needs to remove that tweet, so he has done that.
Maybe they had the conversation.
They had that conversation. Yeah.
Maybe they had the conversation. So it's like, all right, Fairs, let's delete. Like, which I understand. I would have done the same. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I would have done the exact same. Once we had the call, all right, it's in the past. Let me delete that. Let's move on and get Jadon Sancho on the pitch, and hopefully he can perform. But that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, go on,
definitely. But back to that Champions League, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm only looking at it from game 2 to 5 because game 1 and 6 is non-existent to me. I don't want to know about it. I want to wake up the following day. I don't even want to experience the whole day, you know, when I do this, you know. But yeah, because I just don't see Manchester United beating Bayern Munich. That team is just far too superior for Manchester United. I keep saying it before, our squad is not there yet to compete with the creme de la creme, the best, the top echelon of teams within Europe as well. So I just feel like we will crumble. But then again, it's Champions League night, and at Old Trafford, the fans make it special. It's whether the fans can carry the team and give them that belief, especially at Old Trafford against Bayern Munich. Then we have a good opportunity. Yeah, the one game that I keep my eye out is Galatasaray away, like everyone's been saying, because that is a game. Going to Galatasaray away against their ultras, it's a long night for us.
Is that game week? What game week is that? Is that game week 5?
I hope it's not game week 2.
No, it's not. No. Because I think it's game week 5 because the back-to-back is Copenhagen. And then game week, and number 1, the first game is Bayern Munich away. So I think Galatasaray, the away game is 5. I think because that home game is second. I think the chat will let us know. But
home game is second. Home game is second.
All right, it means it's game week 5 then.
Playing Galatasaray with their ultras, their fans, the whistling and everything. European nights. It's a long night for Manchester United. You know, it can go any way for us. We can concede within the first 10 minutes, and if we concede against them in the first 10 minutes, I don't see Manchester United coming back, man. But I truly believe we can finish second and go through to the second round. And the knockout rounds, man. We've got the squad to do that. Copenhagen ain't gonna be a problem. FC Copenhagen, home and away. We should get that win. It's just the tricky one is Bayern Munich away and Galatasaray away as well, and also Bayern Munich at home. But let's hope that we finish second, we advance. Hopefully we can reinforce in January to add to that squad and make a serious challenge in the Champions League. But we won't. Knowing our football club, we won't be signing top players to challenge in the Champions League. So let's just hope that, man. Second for me.
All right, well, so we'll see where we're at. Before we do indeed close out as well, I just obviously checked this tweet that Kojo sent me about United in the last 3 years, which I'm going to read out in a sec. That is crazy. Like, this list is long. It's nuts. It really is. Still over 100 of you lot in the building, and we're still not at 83 likes. Let's get up to 100 likes, people. Let's make sure you do so. Make sure you subscribe to the channel right here, Sarcasm City TV. We are now less than 20 away from 8,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button if you are indeed new. Make sure you subscribe to all the ManDem on here as well. United TV, Rhino MG TV, Free in Midfield, one of the mods. Please put all of the channels of all the ManDem on here in the comment section, please, as well. But yeah, bump up those likes as well, people. So this is United in the last 3 years. 3 women now accusing Anthony of assault and 1 set to do a TV interview on it. Sancho's statement saying he's being scapegoated. Whole Greenwood situation. Takeover being dragged on. Ronaldo goes on Piers Morgan. Bailly comes out and says the club favours British players. Bailly likes comments slamming Maguire and teammates. Lingard falls out with club over not getting a loan. Lingard, Martial call Ragnick a liar. Ragnick calls the club out. I'm here paraphrasing because this is so long, people, so I'm not reading out the full thing. Rojo calls out Maguire, has a big bust up with Oli. Multiple dressing room / team leaks. Martial interview slamming Ole and Jose. Trying to sign Arnautovic. Fan outrage over racist comments. Stop this. Luke Shaw came out, admitted a lot of Manchester United fans were 100%. Lingard told Scholes dressing room was a mess. Maguire in the Greece situation. The whole Super League debacle that the Glazers were the ring leaders behind. This is crazy. And there's probably more people. That's how much in 3 years. We really are keeping up at Carrington. 3 years.
I forgot about Arnautovic. My God. Oh. What is that, man?
But crazy.
Hey, that is a true guy named. My God.
So much gone on. So much.
So much. And Ten Hag have had to live through that, you know, for one season and this season as well. It's a tough job, you know. That's why I rate Ten Hag for being able to handle this and deal with these kind of things. Because I would have left. I would have resigned because we don't deserve that stress. Do you get me? I would have lost all my black hair and turned all grey. Well, Ten Hag is different because he's bold. He doesn't have to worry about that. But yeah, man, big up to the manager. It's not easy being a Manchester United manager. We saw Jose Mourinho age at Manchester United vastly. We saw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the baby face assassin, age vastly within us. We saw David Moyes age with grey hairs by the time he got sacked. It ain't easy, my brother, man. But big up to our manager to be able to handle all that bullshit and still keep a smile on your face and try to be positive about it, and you're still getting players lashing out at you. It's not easy, man. It's not easy.
Hey,
I've just seen here as well, man. It says MEFC and Bayern Munich are finalising plans to commemorate United's return to the scene of the 1958 Munich air disaster.
I fucks with that, man. Yeah, man.
But Bayern Munich and Manchester United always had a fantastic relationship, especially for the air disaster thing. That's what I know.
Certain positive, man. I do. I like that a lot, man. I really, really do. You know what I'm saying? So where to Manchester United actually doing something positive in that scenario. But
Flawless, sorry. Can I ask you a question? Yeah,
of course.
I don't know because I know your feelings on Bruno. I think Ivorian has similar feelings on Bruno.
Yeah.
You know, what he's done in the internet with Portugal and stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Do you feel like? Obviously, we can understand why the team he played and all that stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
You know me, I love Bruno, but I know when it comes to that big games and stuff he's missing, and I wish it could be consistent. Do you feel like if we had a team of quality players at United, do you think it will help? Do you think we'll get better out of Bruno in the games he goes missing? Do you think we'll see more consistency from him?
Yeah, because he would have less responsibility. I said it for the longest about Bruno. I said two things on him from early. I said, one, we will never win a trophy with him being our best midfielder. That's any trophy. Lo and behold, we signed a top quality midfielder in Casemiro, who's in a completely different universe of quality. And you see the difference Casemiro makes with all that crap around him. We've seen it all. And we win the Carabao Cup, get to the FA Cup final. It's not all on Casemiro, but he was key in what we did. And I also said as well, we would never win a major trophy with him being our first or second best midfielder. When I say major trophies, people, I'm talking Champions League and Premier League. If Bruno is our second or our best or second best midfielder in our team, we will not win a major trophy with that with that happening. Because people use that as a defense of him all the time. Oh, where would we be without him? Bruno's one of our best midfielders. Bruno, I agree. Bruno is one of our best midfielders, and that is a big fucking problem. This is why we've been terrible for 10 years, because he's the bar. That's what I'm talking about. It should be Casemiro level. You see when a proper quality midfielder of caliber walks through the door, you see the difference Casemiro made playing next to Fred, playing next to McTominay, playing next to Bruno, with Wan-Bissaka, with Dalot, Luke Shaw. He had all of the same issues that people say Bruno has. All of the same issues, and still performed to a high level. Still had significant impact on this football team. And you've seen the difference he made last season because he's of a quality. I hate the excuse of, or with better players. Yes, of course, with better teammates around you, you are going to perform better. But you should still perform to a certain standard because you are individually that good. How come Rashford in the same team can get 40 GNA? Why is that? And people criticize Rashford, and I criticize Rashford for all his faults and all his deficiencies. How can Rashford perform with no help? Nobody else in our team got double figures in the Premier League. Yet Rashford got 17 league goals by himself pretty much, because he's out there by himself from an offensive standpoint with no striker that we've spoken on. Anthony not doing anything. Sancho not doing anything. Garnacho's young. Palestri's young. Bruno, yeah, we know. Fred, McTominay don't really offer too much going forward. We know about Luke Shaw's deficiencies going forward. So that's where I'm at with it. And people hyping him up against Luxembourg tells you the levels he's at. He's very similar to Mount. I don't even criticize him because I know the levels he's at. Why am I going to get mad? It's like I've used this analogy before, I use it again. It's like walking into McDonald's and being surprised that they serving Big Macs. It's just it's what's going to happen. Like, that's just what it is. Me and Ivorian spoke on it on the Tuesday after we beat Forest. And I said he was instrumental in us beating Forest. And I hailed him and give him all the credit in the world and was like, he was top quality in that game. Now go do that again against Arsenal away. And I said, but we all know he going to disappear. I didn't even get mad. And what happened? We played Arsenal and he disappeared. And I didn't even, Bruno, this, that, and the third. You just have to understand that I don't lie to myself about these players. I've seen Bruno enough. I've got a big enough sample size.
So you think that he needs to be played to his strengths, like sticking to his strengths.
As a squad player,
yeah. Around him and just stick him there just to supply the front line. Don't do nothing else.
No, he should be a squad player. He should be used like Park Ji-sung, in my opinion. And when I say that, I'm not talking in terms of skill people. I'm talking about in terms of role. Like how Park Ji-sung was used as a spoiler. To me, that's how Bruno should be used. Spoiler. Because all his best attributes are off the ball. Not saying he's not good on the ball, because if you get Bruno and give him space to hit him behind, he'll do the business. If you say kick the space in behind, transition ball, Bruno at his best. He can do that. Forest at home, cool, where he's getting a lot of the ball. But to me, he should be used as Park Ji-sung. Oh, we're playing Chelsea away. Let's stop Enzo getting on the ball. Hey, Bruno, stop Enzo getting on the ball. We're playing Bayern Munich, for example. Alphonso Davies keeps bombing down the left-hand side. Hey, Bruno, that's your job. Just to stop him. That was one of his best performances against Barcelona away that you mentioned earlier, was him playing wide right. I'm an advocate for him playing wide right at times in certain games when we need a spoiler. We're playing Arsenal away. All right, Zinchenko keeps inverting. Hey, stop Zinchenko inverting and getting on the ball. So I think there's a role for him in this squad. Don't get mistaken. I just don't think if he's the main guy, we ain't winning nothing. That's just my opinion on it. If he's the main, we ain't winning anything major. FA Cup, Carabao Cups, yes. But that's the guy we're hanging our hat on, who is yet to deliver a performance in a big game away from home. What's he been here, 4 years now? Mm-hmm. And he's never performed at City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. Name the times he's performed well at any of those places where you can hang your hat and say, yo, Bruno today, even in a loss, you can say, Bruno today was exceptional away from home. He's always there, just doing nothing. But, hey, we move. But, yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. Like, there's no saving him in it. People are going to keep trying to say it's just no. And I see people hype Luxembourg. Come on, man. If we were all eligible for Luxembourg in our bloodline, we could play for Luxembourg. If us 4-1 here had any form of our grandparents, great-grandparents had some form of Luxembourg heritage in any of our bloodlines, we could play for Luxembourg. And I'm like, come on, man, what are we doing? This is where we're at. But that goes to show how low his stocks are. People are hyping him up in international break against Luxembourg. Because when it comes to international tournaments, where is he for Portugal? People don't like these uncomfortable conversations. And he's around talent. So that don't work. Portugal's supremely talented. There's a lot of attacking talent around there. Where was he at in the World Cup for them?
Wasn't he good in the World Cup though, from what I remember? Wasn't he?
The fact that you have to, hey, Rhino, the fact that you have to ask the question tells you all you need to know. Because if I ask you if Messi was good at the World Cup, you'd be like, yeah, he was. The fact you have to ask the question
I remember him being Portugal's one of their best players.
Sounds a lot by Manchester United. Him being one of Manchester United's best players. You see the pattern. See the pattern. You know it's that. You see the pattern. Same shit.
That's crazy.
Same shit. And to Divas W says Bruno has the highest GNA in the World Cup. Check and what did that win Portugal? I know Portuguese fans.
You like-
What did that win Portugal?
Mm-hmm.
Football's a team game. It's not in the. This is not tennis. It's not boxing. It's not UFC. It's a team. What did the team win? So he got the highest GNA. Cool. And who did they go out to? They went out in the group, not in the group stages, knockout. Who was it? Who did they go out to? I can't even remember.
They
Portugal.
lost to Morocco.
Yeah.
Was it Belgium or
yeah.
Morocco? Who Morocco beat Belgium?
Oh, Morocco.
Right?
Oh, no.
Spain.
Yeah.
And we would all say that Portugal's better than Morocco, but here we are. Bruno is usually one of Portugal's best players. And what does that win Portugal? That's my point. Man, a captain in ships going nowhere. You saying? Like, what we doing? This is Rhino's fault because he knows my opinions on this.
Yeah, no,
But you
because
see how it
I like Bruno, innit? Like I like Bruno more than Flawless likes Bruno. I would say in a sort of way.
That's fair.
Not to say that Flawless completely hates Bruno. He rates him when he needs to rate him, but he feels like he's overrated.
Forest,
So,
if he played as he did against Forest all the time,
consistently,
I'd shut
yeah.
up. He done
Yeah.
consistent.
I agree with that.
We
You've got
played
good
4
points
league.
to back your stance.
Yeah,
so,
we played 4 league matches and he's played well in 1. He's got a 25% success rate currently. 25%. But people will hype that up and criticize me for criticizing 25%. And lo and behold, he'll probably, you know what will probably happen? He'll probably play well against Brighton. And everyone will hype him up. And then we'll play Bayern Munich away, get beaten or disappear. Come on, man. Well, yeah, go on, carry on, fam.
You mean?
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, I think I finished what I was saying. I was just interested to see what your thoughts. I knew what you was going to say, but a part of me wanted to kind of understand more in terms of certain levels of thinking you have with them. Even though I kind of understand, it's always an interesting conversation to ask Flawless about.
It is.
Bruno
And to Kevin
Fernandes,
Jimenez, who says it's a team sport, you said though, so why are you putting that on him? Again, this is the thing. I haven't blamed him. If you are one of the better players, I'm putting more of the blame on you. This is why I'm not sat here when Manchester United are performing poorly and blaming Brandon Williams. You know what I'm saying? Or blaming Aaron Wan-Bissaka. You're supposed to be one of the better players. So therefore, you're the captain. You're club captain. You're our attacking catalyst. So therefore, there's things that come along with that. Because when he plays well against Forest and he gets all the plaudits, rightfully so, a lot of the plaudits, it's all hail Bruno. But when we go away to Arsenal and have 1 shot on target, I think we had, where was our attacking catalyst? When we're at 1-1, where are you? What did you do from an offensive standpoint? Like, what did you do? Disappeared, per usual. Same way you disappeared at Spurs. When we play City, he's gonna disappear again. Bayern Munich away, he gonna disappear. Liverpool, he gonna disappear because we've watched him disappear.
Damn.
Every get like we watch him like he does up the Houdini, Harry Potter invisibility cloak. But people don't like me talking about this. This is what he does. Ivorian knows this because we speak about it every week. But someone will come up and go, "Oh, why are you not giving Bruno like his credit?" Forrest, very, very good. He's hitting at 25% right now. To Jason, who says, "Don't you think you're being too harsh on Bruno?" Nah, because I don't expect much from him. I praise him when he plays well. I criticize. He's currently at a 25% success rate. So what am I supposed to do with that? Like, I can't really. What's the Fabrizio tweet sheet? Let me know before we close out.
Oh, it just says he's deleted comments made in response to Ten Hag. That's it. Yeah.
Fairs.
Good.
Fairs.
It's good.
You know what I'm saying? But like I say to you, like, it's like, do we want to win or do we not want to win? You know what I'm saying? 10 players do not disappear. Only 1 player disappears. Makes sense. No, it's not just on him. Other players are critiqued too. But Divas, you're new here, so you wouldn't know this. But I've critiqued everybody. This is why I said, when you initially said the nonsense you've mentioned, I would get rid of 95% of this team. That's how much I don't rate them. That's how much. And he is the figurehead of that. Like, he's the head honcho of everything I think is wrong at this football club in terms of talent. Because I don't think he's anywhere near good enough for where we're trying to go to. And no other top club would have someone of Bruno Fernandes' level leading the line for them. And when I say leading the line, being the attacking guy, he's our go-to guy when we're down to create. He's the go-to. And I just think it's a terrible go-to, but hey, we move. You know what I'm saying? Get me some Casemiros and Varans and Martinez's, but then that's why we're a top 4 side, because we have top 4 level players. If you're trying to battle for top 4, Bruno's perfect. If you're trying to compete for Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues, Bruno's not the guy. Because if he left here, he's not going to another top team. And notice when you talk to rivals, none of them ever take 2 players from Manchester United. Nobody ever says Bruno. Never heard anybody say Bruno. Chat to him, you lot. Chat to rival fans. Chat to Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal fans and see who they take. Never heard anyone say Bruno. And Eddie says it, Bruno's the only world-class player we can't critique. I get it. And that's the thing is,
I like the fact that world class is in this because he's as world class as me. This guy ain't a world class player, man.
And that's just legit what it is. Shut me up with consistency and performances. Like I said, if he performs how he did against Forest, against Brighton, and then he does it against Bayern Munich, and after that, I'll hold my hands up and go, hey, you know what? Props to you. Same way Aaron Wan-Bissaka turned it around in terms of his form. He's not been amazing, but he was poor. We all wanted him gone. Guess what? He turned it around and has actually performed to an average to decent
basically
level.
One of our most consistent players.
Consistency. He's missed a 6 out of 10 every week in week.
Game,
cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't give me an 8 1 week and then a 4 the next week, and then you're a 5, then you're a 2. Man, don't know what I'm dealing with, but hey, we move. You know what I'm saying? We move. But Rhino, let them know where they can find you, all that good stuff before we close out.
Yeah, man. Obviously, first and foremost, appreciate you for having me always. Big up Ivorian, Kojo all the time, man. I think I've been on Ivorian's show as well. Kojo, yeah, me and Kojo are planning something as well soon.
Love that.
But yeah, Rhino MGTV. I'm trying to be more consistent, people, but big up the chat as well. Love for the interaction and you guys giving your opinions as well. Make sure you hit the like button. Follow me on at Rhino UK Official and YouTube Rhino MGTV.
Make sure you do that, people. Make sure you follow Rhino across all his platforms. Kojo, always great having you on as well, man. Let them know where they can find you, what you got coming up, all that good stuff as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. My personal Twitter, Kojo Free Midfield, as you can see over there. And just below that, Free Midfield podcast on YouTube. We haven't posted any content for the season yet because we're doing a big rebrand. So just stay tuned. Just subscribe to us, and I promise you we'll come out with some good stuff, and I'll get everyone on the channel. I am planning a 10 years Man United won't get wrong podcast. So when you get a name, everyone's getting a call for that one. Believe me, everyone's getting a call for that one. Listen, we're gonna really dissect into that. We're year one by year one. We're gonna really ruin Man United. Even though we love them, we're gonna ruin them as well. And then that can subscribe. And more importantly, if you haven't followed these guys, follow their guys because all their content is great. So check them out.
Yeah, man, love Kojo every single time. Ivorian, always great chatting to you, my bro.
Absolutely, my brother.
Let them know where they can find you, what you got coming up, all that good stuff as well, man.
Yeah, man, since Manchester United back kicking ball and back live with the latest Manchester United news on Thursday at 5 p.m. And of course, the watch along for Brighton. We got a catch up on Monday to review that game at 8 p.m. And as always, back here again Tuesday to dissect and talk about more Manchester United news. We're hoping that we get the W. We're hoping that no one's been arrested or anything like that. You know, we just want to have a normal weekend as a Manchester United fan. Next week when we come back on Flawless channel. So you catch me here, guys, every Tuesday, 4:30 as well, man. Big up to everyone as well. Smash that like button. I think we're about 2-3 away from 100 likes.
Yeah, man, 3 away from 100 likes, man.
Stream.
Yeah, man, thoroughly enjoyed this, man. It's always great, Ivorian, talking to you. I knew what it was going to be with Rhino and Kojo. That's why I brought them on. I already knew the conversation would be flowing, even when Manchester United are not playing. Big up to, I see Months in the chat as well. Big up Big Six Man says, my people, large up. Make sure you subscribe over there. Make sure you subscribe to Red United TV. That's Ivorian's channel. Subscribe to Rhino's channel, Rhino MGTV. Make sure you subscribe to Kojo's channel because you know he's going to be, you mentioned the rebrand, you know he's going to be doing big things over there as well, people. And hit the like button here. Subscribe. Don't forget, I dropped the links in the chat. This show, all the shows on the channel are available on audio-only platforms as well, people. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts, type in Sarcasm City TV, and this show and all the other shows will pop up because you might just not want to have the YouTube app open. Might want to listen. You might be cooking, might be cleaning, driving, might be at work, on your way to work, traveling, maybe in the gym, whatever the case may be. So SoundCloud heals with the follow. Spotify, make sure you follow us and 5-star us on there. iTunes as well, Apple Podcasts, 5-star us on there as well. We are also on the Sarcasm City TV Kick, people. So that's where you get a lot of Sarcasm City TV content. All the content that was on the Twitch is now over on the Kick. Obviously, Eddie's in the chat. They did the NFL show yesterday, so that'll be every Monday, 1 a.m. time. But you'll get non-Manchester United watch-alongs on there. So you get Premier League watch-alongs, Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup, NBA content over on the Sarcasm City TV Kick, people. So go follow that as well. And we're back tonight, midnight, people, for the ManDem United, one of the ManDem United crossovers, obviously with the Liverpool lot. So we'll be discussing all things Manchester United, discussing all things Liverpool as well with the Liverpool gang. But don't forget, man, just continue to support in the manner in which you lot have, man, because you lot are real ones. This chat has been jumping the entire show. So big up to everyone that's locked in. Just drop the kick. So make sure you follow the kick as well, people, because you don't want to miss out on the content. And check out the upcoming live stream schedule as well. But this has been the ManDem United podcast live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Big up.